Well, that was a movie.
Hello and welcome back to First Thoughts. I'm Simon, this is Justin, and today we're giving our first thoughts on Americana, the new film by writer-director Tony Tost, starring Sydney Sweeney, Paul Walter Hauser, Halsey, and some other people. We're starting with the doors open today, as you can hear, because it's just too humid, it's just too hot.
We know we're all going to last about 2 minutes anyway.
Yeah, well, it's not worth it, and we'll just look sweaty for the rest of the movie if we do it, so we're not even trying, okay? Sorry, not sorry. If you don't know what this movie's about, you haven't seen the trailer or anything, it follows various different characters doing various different things, but they all end up getting swept up in some sort of conspiracy involving this really valuable shirt, a ghost Indian shirt, or I forget the term they use for it. So you've got a couple of people, Sydney Sweeney and Paul Walter Hauser in their one storyline, you've got Halsey and her son in this other storyline, other people all revolving around. Kind of reminded me of sort of like a Coen Brothers movie. You can just fucking pick it up. You don't have to pretend you didn't drop it. We all saw it.
They didn't see it.
They heard it.
They didn't know what that was. Doors are open.
Could have been anything. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a Coen Brothers movie almost, with both the plot line as well as the dark humor mixed in with a sort of, I don't know, thriller-ish plot. I don't even know what you'd call it, like a crime thriller sort of thing. With a lot of dark comedy. Obviously, I mean, the Coen Brothers, at least used to be, before they broke up, were the best at what they do. I wouldn't say this was that quality grade, but it reminded me of that style. And hey, despite the 5.4 or whatever the hell it has on IMDb, I enjoyed this movie a lot.
What I knew about this movie going in, Sydney Sweeney and Halsey.
Yeah.
That's about all I know.
And the fat guy we've been seeing a lot lately.
I didn't know he was in it.
You
I
didn't?
I was
yeah,
very
he was
surprised.
on the poster, yeah.
Oh, I did not pay that hard
And
attention
in the
to
trailer.
the poster.
Yeah.
Don't remember the trailer. So, yeah, no, I was very surprised. But yeah, he has been everywhere recently, for me at least.
Yeah.
Even though this was made in 2023.
Yeah, it
Well,
sat on a shelf
2022.
for a while. It seems that for whatever reason it didn't do well with either test audiences or at festivals or wherever they were showing it. Because like I said, it's got a poor rating. Critics did like it better. It's got a 68% from critics, but a 5.4 from audiences. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it had to do with the fact that every line Sydney Sweeney had was Heil Hitler and, white supremacy. I'm joking. But her jeans were great.
And blue.
They were. But I will say, on the subject of Sydney Sweeney, I'm obviously joking about that, by the way. There's no neo-Nazism in this movie. Neither were there in that jeans ad. You guys are just overly sensitive and stupid. This is the first role I think I've seen Sydney Sweeney in that they didn't sexualize her at all. Literally at all. Like, they didn't even put her in a bikini. Like, they didn't do anything to make her hot. In fact, they were trying to make her plain and simple looking. I'm like, it's still Sydney Sweeney, you failed. But they were trying purposely to make her like, the girl next door type.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's my favorite performance by her. I think her acting actually shone in this movie. Are you going through her
did,
filmography right now?
I'm trying to think if this is my first time ever seeing her in anything.
Oh, really?
She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
She has a tiny, tiny part. It was before she was famous.
Okay.
It's funny, that whole, all those hippies
Yeah.
are all people right before they got famous. You have Austin Butler, you have Sydney Sweeney, you have Margaret Qualley. That all of those...
Her I knew, because she had the prominent role in that movie.
She was the main hippie, but still, it's a small role. Great cast in that, accidentally. But, I
guess this is the first one.
Obviously, so we don't watch Euphoria because we are adult men who are not pedophiles, so we don't watch that show. But that Euphoria has had quite the plethora of I was speaking on your behalf. Should I?
I have not seen the show, but I thought that was a great description. No, I have not seen
just speaking for myself here.
It didn't quite appeal to me. I've seen a lot of HBO, but I decided to pass on that one.
Yeah, but it's amazing how many people have come out of that show. Sydney Sweeney, Zendaya was already somebody, but she blew up because of Euphoria, and Hunter Schafer. Everybody in that show just blew up because of that. Whoever is in charge of finding talent, they did a great job, because everybody that came out of that, I think, is great. And it's funny because for a while there, I've been a fan of Sydney Sweeney, but barely, because I thought, she's got some talent, but she never seems to use it. because the only clips that ever impressed me were there was a couple clips from Euphoria where I saw her. There's a really famous one where she's fighting one of the other girls, and that clip, I was like, her acting in this clip is really good. But then every time I went out of my way to see Sydney Sweeney in a movie, I wasn't particularly impressed. This is the first time that I feel like, oh, her acting is good. There it is. And so now I can finally say, yes, everybody coming out of that godforsaken show seems to be talented. Way to go, guys. You're making it. So yeah, this is my favorite role of her career so far. Granted, Euphoria could be better. I haven't seen enough, will not see enough, but so far, I really enjoyed her in this. Yeah.
No, she was pretty great. I did have to remind myself that was Sydney Sweeney's character. I guess I don't recognize everybody by face in these movies.
You don't recognize Sweeney by her face? What do you recognize her by?
Yeah,
what are you looking at? Her jeans?
Jeans, yeah. They're blue. I noticed. All right? Listen. You can't have a commercial talking about the hereditary nature of jeans and, make me not think about race. It's their fault.
Yeah, every other line she was like, I just love the fact that I have blonde hair and blue eyes. Everybody who doesn't deserves to die. I was like, whoa, okay. Also, as I mentioned, Halsey's in this movie. Yeah. I'm not familiar enough with Halsey as a musical artist to recognize her when I see her.
There is definitely a few songs I have heard on the radio
I'd recognize
nonstop.
Her voice, sure, but her
I don't know what they are,
face, not so much.
No.
And so I kept forgetting, I kept finding out and then forgetting again that she was in this movie. She held her own too. She was good. And then Paul Walter Hauser, I think he's good in everything I've seen him in. I haven't seen him in a ton of main character roles. He's usually a supporting actor, it seems like. He's got more of a almost lead in this. And although I will say I was shocked, I thought Sydney Sweeney and Paul Walter Hauser were going to be like lead 1 and 2. Halsey had a bigger role than either of them.
Yeah, it seemed like she was going to have a somewhat sizable role, but it seemed like Paul and Sydney were going to take over. And then not so much.
They kind of did. They took turns, but I think Halsey was the main character. Not that it's like strictly a main character driven story. There's so many other characters and arcs and things going on. Even the kid's got his own arc, and then he meets other characters who have their arcs. A lot of stuff going on. Like I said, kind of a la Coen Brothers, where do those movies have main characters? Kind of, sometimes. I really did enjoy this movie a lot. Especially, I'll say, Paul Walter Hauser and Sydney Sweeney's characters stole the show for me. I wanted every scene to just be them in a diner talking.
I like them a lot together.
I loved them.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to care about them or anything that they were doing. This is probably a slight spoiler, but it's in the trailer. They're a sort of couple in this movie. And, man, it just gives fat white guys with beards hope everywhere. And so I love that aspect.
Listen, all you need to be is endearing.
You're going to go through the whole alphabet?
Yes.
C, E, F, G.
Whatever rhymes. All you need to be is endearing. And if she has something that holds her back in life, in the house too.
Just have an issue, like a speech impediment or a stammer or stutter or something.
Emotionally and potentially physically abusive mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least verbally abusive.
Yeah, very verbally.
But yeah, that's why I kind of laugh, because I'm like, they're doing their best to make it make sense why Sydney Sweeney is undesirable. I'm like, you didn't do enough. I'm sorry. It's still Sydney Sweeney. But I appreciate you trying. Yeah, no, I thought this movie was hilarious. I thought it was endearing when I wanted it to be. I thought it was entertaining throughout. If I had any one gripe, I think probably the final act dragged the most. It started to lose me just a little bit. But, I mean, not really that much. Just 1 or 2 minutes where I was like, okay, let's get where we're going. Yeah. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie much more than I expected. I saw it for the cast and came away enjoying the whole thing. So, yeah, I'm giving this movie probably a 7, 7.5. I enjoyed it a lot.
I definitely enjoyed the movie. Probably a little less than you did, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit. I will say, I think I really liked Halsey at the beginning, not including the portion where, not the kids' portion.
Sure.
But her portion. That was probably where it dragged the most in the movie to me.
Interesting.
Yeah. And okay. I really, now it picked up later on, and I really enjoyed when it came together, and virtually everybody else's And all her stuff later in the movie. Now,
Yeah.
I agree with you. The ending kind of dragged a little, but I don't think that was really her or anything. But
No.
there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it was just like so like because when you've got so many storylines and they all have to come together,
Yeah.
it can get a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And that's how it kind of felt near the end. Not even literally the end, because I loved how everything started wrapping up, but like when every world collides,
Right.
that part was a little just to me.
But I liked her a lot as the movie moved on.
Yeah, I thought she was great. I was shocked that I thought that too, because it's Halsey. She's not really an actress. I guess she's been moving that way, but
I feel like I've not seen, but heard of her in things for a while.
yeah. Oh yeah, she was in Maxine. I saw that. I don't remember her very well. She wasn't a very memorable character. She was just kind of there in a couple of scenes. I do remember finding out it was Halsey and being like, oh, okay. But anyway, so Americana. Americana is a very enjoyable movie. I do recommend it, especially if you're into that kind of Coen Brothers movie style. Like I said, not quite that quality. It's also not quite as gritty feeling. This kind of felt a little bit cleaner, and that's part of the quality. Like it didn't feel as serious of a movie as something the Coens would come up with. But I still really enjoyed it. Shut up. I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time and seemingly underrated for some reason. Not entirely sure. Did you give it a rating yet?
Oh yeah, 6.5, 7.
6.5, 7. Yeah, there you go. So even Justin's agreeing with the critics here. And the audiences are stupid? I don't know. Maybe. Honestly, it's a little too early because there was only like 600 ratings on IMDb, so I think just not enough people have seen it and rated it yet.
Yeah.
And also probably a lot of people that are rating it are just the people giving it a negative rating because of the Sydney Sweeney controversy right now, which is just, like I said, asinine. But people are going to do that.
It's always the funny thing with review sites. It's just never can be defeated.
Yeah. We're going to get into spoilers now, though, so if you don't want anything spoiled, I do recommend go seeing it in theater, see it on the big screen, why not? Have fun with it. But then don't forget to come back, talk about it then. Also, don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, all that. Thanks, guys. Bye. So, spoilers. Yeah, this plot was not at all what I thought it was going to be from the little I knew. I knew that was going to be one of those kind of Coen Brothers-esque storylines, but I thought it was going to be much more focused on Sydney Sweeney and Paul Walter Hauser just stealing a shirt. And they don't even steal the shirt. They just, somebody else steals it, and then they end up getting it by the end of the movie.
Hey, they kind of half stole it. They weren't supposed to do that originally.
Yeah, and then they don't even keep it because then they give it to Sitting Bull Jr.
Well, she got the money, or half the money.
Yeah, that's all she cared about, really. But yeah, so when like the movie starts and it's following the little kid, I was like, huh?
I was confused.
I thought we sat in the wrong movie for half a second. I was like, what?
No, that's the only thing I knew because I saw it say Americana.
Yeah, I don't mean literally, but like, I was like, is this not the movie I was thinking of?
I might have thought it was the wrong movie too had I not seen that. I didn't expect young Sitting Bull over here. The kid believes he's the reincarnation of Sitting Bull, and he must lead his people.
Yeah, I could see how the beginning of the movie would also be your least favorite part. It wasn't mine, but it did kind of take a minute to...
Halsey's after
part,
the kid. Yeah.
But like, because it's non-linear for apparently no reason when it first starts.
Yeah.
Because you see him kill the ex, and you're like, okay. And they open the trunk and you see the shirt, but I wasn't even on the right wavelength. I was like, what am I looking at in this trunk? Didn't pick up that the shirt was in there. I just saw a pattern, wasn't even sure what I was looking at. And then you see later the guy, and he's not dead. You're like, is that the same guy? And then they're talking about stealing the shirt, and then he puts it in the trunk, and you're like, yeah, this is out of order. Okay. And I was just like, but why? So I didn't entirely understand why that part had to be out of order, other than to just give you something to catch your attention right at the beginning and then work back.
Shock you with the kid.
Yeah.
He killed a man with 3 shots.
Somehow. So, I mean, I get it. Not somehow. But he shoots him in the neck, right?
Yep.
Which the reason you would die from getting shot in the neck like that is you are drowning to death or suffocating. One or the other. You're either cutting off the pipeline or you're flooding the pipeline with blood. One or the other.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it severed the spine. It was just right there.
Right.
So he falls on his butt, and then he goes, yeah. And I'm like, no, you're not saying shit. You're drowning right now.
It would have been a little more interesting with a little gargle there.
It would have just been, it wouldn't have been no words. Just, because if you're not suffocating, you're not dying if you get shot there. If you can still breathe, it's gonna hurt, but you're not dead or actively dying. So I was just like, what was that? That was my biggest complaint about the movie, honestly, was that did not make any sense.
Hey, that was classic cowboy and Indian shit right there.
Sure, okay,
All right.
Whatever. Speaking of which, I loved the Indians in this movie, by the way. They were great. All of them had compound bows.
Yes.
I thought that was great.
Them and the kid together were golden.
Yes, they were my second favorite part.
Yeah.
Because I still, Sydney Sweeney and Paul Walter Hauser's, I wanted them to have just a chick flick together. I loved everything about them.
I could have watched the whole movie, as much as I did like Halsey's character, and especially the family part later on. I could have watched the whole movie of just like the group of Indians with the kid and Paul and Sydney together.
Yeah, each story I ended up loving. And so it's like, even though I'll say this is my favorite, second favorite, third favorite, I enjoyed every storyline. Even Halsey's, which was my least favorite by the end, I enjoyed because of the whole thing with her family being like a cult. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was...
Didn't see that coming at all. I was like, where are we going with this?
I started to wonder about, like, strict or something when she said, I'm coming home if you don't shoot me on sight.
Yeah, I just thought he was going to be like, sure, a religious nut or something, but not that.
Religious compound and pimping out the family.
Yeah, just like super strict, but also a brothel. And I was like, what the hell is this combo?
You see, Eve
Yeah.
was made from Adam, right? So,
After Adam.
And then she sinned first.
Right, so that she's subservient.
Yeah, she should serve him and
give massages.
And pleasure, yeah.
Yep, massages.
They go down to the nipples.
But yeah, no, going back to Paul and Sydney, just like, I remember when it really was hitting me that I was just smiling ear to ear, enjoying myself, was the scene where they're in like the kitchen together, and they've decided that they want to steal the thing and get the money and then run away. And she's like, do you know how to two-step? And he was like, no. Do you? And she's like, not really. We're going to have to learn. He's like, how are we going to do that? And so then they start dancing. I was like, that scene, I was just geeking. I was like, this is so cute. I love them so much. I was not expecting them to have chemistry at all. And then they were phenomenal together.
Apparently, he's just great at whatever role they're trying to give him.
Yeah.
They like him in that quirky, funny side character role.
Yeah.
And it works very well. Great niche.
Yeah. And like I said, Sydney, this is the best acting I've seen by her. She was extremely endearing as well. Like I said, they don't rely on her hotness at all, if you will. Sure, they turn her into like a girl next door type, so it's not like they're not trying to make her ugly, but they don't use her hotness as a selling point. And I think oftentimes you see that where like an actress who, why is it so loud right now?
It's warm. Motorcycles are outside.
You often see that where like actresses that have been pigeonholed into, Jesus, fuck.
Must have caught the light.
You see, actresses that have been pigeonholed into just being the hot girl, but do actually have acting ability, the second they're allowed to act outside of that, they will flourish. Like you saw with Scarlett Johansson in the movie Her, where you don't even literally see her at all. She is a computer with just a voice. That is her best acting role to date, still, in my mind, because she was able to just act and not worry about the director being like, you're not hot enough in the scene. And it's like, that's great to see Sydney Sweeney, for the first time that I've seen, be able to have a director not worry about how hot she is in any given scene. And it's just like, she actually was able to just act, and it was very good. Like I said, very endearing. Their chemistry is fantastic. They're also funny together. They both have a couple of jokes here or there. The whole movie is hilarious. And yeah, I mean, I was shocked, like, because I knew the movie had a 5 point whatever, and so my expectations were kind of low. It was just like the only thing coming out this week, other than Nobody 2, which I never even saw. Nobody 1.
What's that? Nobody?
It's Bob Odenkirk is John Wick.
Oh!
Are you regretting not seeing that? I don't care.
Well, I didn't see the first one, but
Me
like,
neither.
I do like Bob Odenkirk.
I
so.
do, and it's an action movie, which means it would have been dumb but fun.
But that does give me something to watch with my friends, because that'll probably be
Yeah,
more
this
fun
doesn't
for
seem
us.
like a Your Friends kind of movie.
This?
No.
Nah, I don't think anyone's gonna ask about this one outside of maybe because of Paul, because they watched the after party with me, so
Oh,
you know, we liked him in that a
yeah.
little bit. Pocket full of hams.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, so I guess the part that like I was saying, it dragged the most for me was, so you've got one firefight between the Indians
Mm-hmm.
and the
Native Americans.
No, they call themselves Indians. It was only the white guy who called them Native Americans.
Yeah, it was impressive.
I did love. So the head Indian guy is a Marxist, and so at one point they're like trying to get the shirt, and he was like, "Not everything is for sale, you capitalist pig." I love that, capitalist fuck, whatever he called him, hilarious. But anyway, so you've got the first firefight, and then there's a lull. And then the bad guy and his henchmen show up, and so there's another firefight. And I was like, I'm kind of just bored by this, because it's like, it wasn't like the action was particularly good. It wasn't really the point of the story. It was just a means to an end. And I was like, I kind of want this to just be over.
I didn't expect the second firefight.
Yeah.
I thought they were just going to like ambush him, kill him quickly, split the
I don't know
stuff
why
up,
they
and
didn't.
go home.
Why wouldn't you just shoot him the second he got out of the car?
I guess they had to double check for the
Morals,
money.
I
But
guess. They don't care. They wanted the shirt. They don't care about the money. I know Halsey wanted the money. But the Indian guys, they just wanted the shirt. So the second he got out, I would have shot him in the back of the head.
yeah.
And what are they supposed to be, like, more chivalrous than that? Like, well,
I guess
since
they
when?
didn't want to kill the women because they didn't kill any in this movie.
You didn't have to kill the women. Just kill the dude. And then if
Well,
the
I
money's
mean-
not there, they'll complain, but who cares?
I mean, they got guns versus bows and arrows. I figure they're going to shoot their way out.
But they don't have to. They already agreed to the deal.
Yeah, but if like he didn't have the money.
You deal with that issue when you get there. You just kill the motherfucker.
I did expect that they would at least kill him once he exposed the money, but I guess Paul Walker was still. What the heck's his name?
Paul Walter Hauser.
Walter, not Walter. Okay, Walter. Paulie boy. He he was alive. I figured
thought
he was gonna live.
I thought he was gonna die sooner, and then when he didn't die, I thought he wasn't gonna die at all. So then when he did die, I was sad all over again.
No, it was crazy because I guess I was the exact opposite. I was convinced he was gonna live, and then when I saw him being laying there the whole day, I thought, oh
Yeah.
gosh, I guess he actually died. And then no, he was still alive, and I was like, okay, you're gonna make it through this one.
And then he didn't.
Then he didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not.
That was a roller coaster of
I didn't see that
emotions,
one coming.
because I loved him so much, and when he got shot in the chest, everybody was getting shot in the right side of the chest, so it wasn't instant deaths. It was just pretty quick deaths because it's lung, not heart. And so, but somehow the old guy, I guess it's because he's old, he got shot in the chest in the right side as well and died in 5 minutes. Paul Walter Hauser got shot in the right side of the chest and made it like 5 hours. So not sure why, but anyway. And then he proposes using the same line from earlier,
it was so
which she
adorable.
helps him read.
She told him to memorize, and he was doing it without the cards this time.
But then he still needed her to help him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so cute. And then she
Gosh.
finally sings at the end. And I was like, it's funny to have Halsey, but she's not the one that's singing. Sydney Sweeney's the one singing.
Also, it's probably very obvious, but I was like, as soon as she
Yeah,
didn't
you saw
sing,
that
it was
coming
just
the whole
like,
movie.
oh yeah, I'm sure she never stutters when she sings, and she sings great.
Which is a pretty common thing for some reason, because it's, I guess, well, okay, for some reason, it's a different part of your brain. I really enjoyed it, which, like I said, it shocked me, because I thought I was going to be indifferent to it at best.
Yeah.
And I remember kind of like being very critical when the movie started. And like at one point, like, so after they shoot the guy in the neck, the kid goes inside, and it does this very kind of tacky indie art house movie trick where they just have the camera do a complete circle, and it's like cinematographers when they first start showing how artsy they are love to do that, to be like, ooh, where's the director and everything else, we put effort into this shot. And I was like, you suckers. But by the end of the movie, I was like, actually the camera work is good, and I'm enjoying everything about this movie. The scoring, the camera work, like I said, even the editing and its quirkiness I enjoyed. So I was just like, I didn't have any major complaints other than maybe a tiny bit of pacing here or there.
That's fair. I will say, when this movie was wrapping up, I started to think everyone was going to get a sad ending, and this movie was just going to end
It kind
that way.
of was.
It was headed in that direction.
At first
and
it
then,
seemed like it was a tacky everybody getting a happy ending. And then Paul Walter Hauser died.
Yeah.
And then the kid got rejected from going back to the tribe.
Yep.
And I was like, is Halsey going to die now or something? But then Halsey escapes through the window.
And I thought she was just going to be gone for a second there.
Yeah. And then she meets up with her son, who has now seemingly been able to come to terms with his trauma, because you get through conversation that the reason he's doing this is he's just disassociating due to trauma. At least that's the Indian guy's theory.
Sort of seems like it.
I'm agreeing with him.
Who knows who his dad is? Probably a crazy string of boyfriends, or at least that one psycho guy.
She alluded to it being somebody who had sex with her when she was in the brothel.
She did say that.
Yeah, she was like, "Can you name every guy that came through that door and paid to fuck me?" Or whatever she said.
That's a good point, yeah.
So, I assume...
Or she said, she was talking about with the mom, paid for you, or something like that, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It definitely could have been
It doesn't say straight up that it was that.
Because you don't know how long she's been gone.
They don't specify, but they didn't know she had a kid, and the kid is like 10 at least.
Yeah, he seems fairly old.
So
higher
she's been gone a while.
Low double.
Yeah. But yeah, so then she escapes. She reunites with the kid. That's happy. And then even though Paul Walter Hauser is dead, Sydney Sweeney seems to be kind of dealing with it okay.
Well, she's got the $50,000. She's probably headed
100.
off. No, I thought she split it with the family.
Yeah, but they're 3 bags, and he said I would go up to 150. So that's where the third bag came in. She gave them 1. She kept 2. So assuming he wasn't bullshitting about there being another 50, it seems that that is what happened.
I did see. I'm pretty sure I saw them pull money out the bag when they opened it and they got it. So I guess they at least got 50. So
probably.
So she's got 100,000 because she wanted to go to Nashville, right?
Yeah. So
yeah. So
I
I
assume
figure
that's where she's going.
Yeah.
And she is singing all the way there.
Yep.
So not a super happy ending, but at least it's kind of like she used this moment in her life to free herself from the mundanity of her life and how she was just doing whatever, living with her mom, being abused, and in a dead-end job now, even though her love of her life seemingly has died and she didn't get the shirt. She has the money and the ability to be free, and she's taking advantage of that. So it's a bittersweet but still kind of happy ending.
Yeah, basically everyone got bittersweet endings.
He did make her happy, and
for
that's what
even
matters.
longer.
And that's what this movie gives me is, yes, fat white guys with beards can get Sydney Sweeney, but you have to die to do it. And I'll tell you, I'm willing. I'm ready and willing.
Can't you fuck at least once?
No, it's not about that, Justin.
If you're gonna die, come on.
Come on, stop being so shallow.
If you're gonna die.
It's about slow dancing in your kitchen, Justin. You gotta be more romantic.
If you're gonna die.
Fuck off. I'll take slow dancing. I'll do it.
But
let me be romantic over here.
But yeah, no, everybody got a fairly bittersweet ending. Although I guess
nothing was outright happy and nothing was outright sad. Because even Paul Walter Hauser, who died, he finally found somebody who loved him. Even if then he died, somebody loved him finally, and that's cool.
She was definitely gonna say yes.
She was, yeah.
And then I feel kind of sad for that kid. I understand, like, it's good that he's come to terms with who he actually is, and he's back with his mom, and they seem like they're gonna go be a family. Maybe meet back up with the mother and the sisters, and have 50,000 to the however many they were. But
I think 3 sisters, a mom, then her and her son. So what was that, 6?
Something like that. But
6 people.
This whole world shattered, rejected. They will know me. I lead my people. Just takes it from him. Shakes his head, shuts it. Oh my god.
What a surprisingly good movie. This is like one of my favorite movies of the year, and I was not expecting that at all. I'm so happy. I love being surprised by movies. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, 7-ish, maybe 7.5. Maybe I can't go 6.5. I enjoyed it too much. Why did you only give it a 6.5 to a 7? What are your reasonings?
Probably just that first Halsey section wasn't as good as the rest to me. Otherwise, it'd probably be a 7.
Yeah, I was surprised to find out that her reason for attempting to kill, not actually killing her boyfriend because her son ends up doing it. I was surprised to find that she didn't have one. Because he seems abusive and a jerk.
Yeah.
And so I was expecting that he did something, and then, no, all he does is tell her to pack, and she goes, "Now's the time!" And I was like, okay, so you're a psycho bitch. Good.
Hey, she had enough. That day was the day. We just happened to get the cameras rolling that day.
I guess, but, like, literally there was no reason. He just sat down and goes like, "Why are women insane? Is it biology? Is it psychology? What is it?" And then tink, and he's like, "Hey, there was no reason for her to do that."
Oh,
he was like, "Look, I've got our meal ticket to $1 million," or he thought $500,000. "Let's run away." And she goes, "No, I'm sleepy." I'd be like, I would have left. I just would have fucking left. I'd be like, I'm
It's
fine.
like, man, I
We
can
can meet
find
up later
another
if you
one."
want, but you're just stupid.
I'm about to have $500,000. Bye.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, no. It was a solid part. It just was my least favorite part of the movie. And dragged a little bit.
But what about the dinner party? That was so fun. I loved all the snobs with the wine. And then the one poor guy kept asking for wine and nobody would pour it for him. And then the lady starts pouring the whole bottle into her glass. That scene was great.
Oh, no, I love that.
Like, you know why American art is better than every art? And they're like, I don't think...
Oh, why we
because...
produce so many artistic geniuses.
Yeah. It's like, because the American dream is more important than reality. And then the lady just... I love that. She's just like, okay.
Downs half the glass.
Pour
one.
the entire bottle. And then she sees the two guys with the guns walk by and she's like, huh? He keeps drinking. And then he comes in. He agreed. He was offered $6,000 to steal this shirt. He talks him up to 10, and he comes in, starts stealing, and he's like, "What are they paying you? 200,000? 300?" And he's like, 10. What?
Well, you forget. 10 split 2 ways.
Yeah. He's like, what? You're getting ripped off, dude. That was funny. Like I said, very Coen Brothers. It seemed like a very Coen Brothers-esque scene there. Yeah, it's not a kind of movie that critics are going to love. It's just not. They're going to view it as a Coen Brothers ripoff, and I get that. It's kind of the same thing. The Guy Ritchie movies always have bad ratings, even though they're a lot of fun. It's just not going to get good reviews. And then from audience members, I think as time goes on, the rating's going to go up. I think a big part of the low rating is just the Sydney Sweeney thing, which is stupid, and that's not going to last forever. So, yeah.
Hey, her blue jeans are forever. She can't fight them.
So I'm not saying that this movie is going to be a classic or anything, but it could end up getting like that cult classic status where people are going to be like, people are going to forget about the whole Sydney Sweeney thing. So 10, 20 years from now, when people watch it, they're going to be like, why did everybody hate this when it came out? Kind of thing. Because it's not terrible. It's not. It's not great, but it's good. It definitely is good. So I think it could get a high 6, maybe 6.5, something like that, and it would deserve that. I would give it slightly higher, but I wouldn't be shocked that it didn't get there. So I don't know. Good. It's good. It's in my top 25. I don't know where, but it's up there somewhere.
Hey, that's an achievement.
Probably not top 10, but it's up there. I think right now 10 is like Sinners. I ain't hitting Sinners. I'm sorry. Also, shout out to Tony Toast. Never heard of him before. Never seen any of his other movies before. Seems fairly new.
I thought I read this was a directorial debut.
Oh, maybe it was. Tony Toast. What a great name. Sounds like a mascot.
Yep.
Oh, good job. Good. Yeah, good. Really good for a first movie.
Wrote some episodes of Longmire, Created Damnation, never heard of it.
Never heard of either of these. Poker Face.
A lot of Western style stuff.
Poker Face? I barely know her face.
What?
Is that Ryan Johnson?
Yep.
Well, that's a negative point for you, Tony. Stay away from him. Yeah, great debut. Very good debut. Keep it up, Tony. You and your toast. Keep an eye out for you. I think that's it from us. Like I said, we enjoyed it. What do you guys think, though? Let us know in the comments below. And, of course, don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, rate. Tell your mom. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Tell your mom what? I don't know. That we're both single.
Hey.
Ready to mingle.